Welcome to our show, Hong Kong Brief. I'm your host, Ginny. Today, we have some exciting updates for you. First up, Pantone has announced its color of the year for 2025, Mocha Mousse. This rich, warm brown is making waves in the beauty world, perfect for sultry eyes, bold lips, and everything in between. It's all about that cozy elegance, folks. Next, we shift our focus to Vietnam, where new regulations are making it a no-go zone for vapes. Tourists could face hefty fines or even jail time for using e-cigarettes, so if you're planning a trip, make sure to check those local laws before packing your vape. Lastly, we discuss the need for Hong Kong's financial institutions to embrace digital evolution. Outdated practices are holding back efficiency, and it's time to modernize to stay competitive on the global stage. Join us as we dive deeper into these stories and more. Please continue watching for detailed content. South China Morning Post reports that Pantone has declared Mocha Mousse as the color of the year for 2025, a warm and rich brown that elegantly balances indulgent chocolate and brewed coffee. This shade is seen as a refreshing shift from the bold and vibrant colors of previous years, such as Barbie pink and Brat green. Mocha Mousse is versatile and seasonless, seamlessly integrating into fashion and beauty trends. Makeup artists highlight its perfect application for lips, skin, and eyes, providing depth without overwhelming the overall look. Whether it's a subtle contour or a bold lip, Mocha Mousse captures modern elegance while evoking a sense of nostalgia. In another report, South China Morning Post highlights Vietnam's stringent new regulations against vaping, which impose fines of up to $78 for tourists caught with e-cigarettes. The law reflects growing global health concerns about vaping, particularly among younger demographics. Countries like Australia and Thailand have also implemented strict anti-vaping measures, demonstrating a worldwide trend towards regulating e-cigarettes due to their potential health risks. Travelers are urged to check local laws before bringing vapes into Vietnam, as the penalties for possession or trade can be severe, including hefty fines or even lengthy prison sentences. Lastly, South China Morning Post discusses the urgent need for modernization within Hong Kong's financial institutions, as outdated practices hinder efficiency and competitiveness. The author, managing a deceased parent's estate, reveals the frustrating inconsistencies between institutions. While some have embraced digital solutions, others cling to archaic methods like physical paperwork. This inefficiency leads to delays and added stress during sensitive times like probate applications. The piece advocates for a shift towards electronic transactions and streamlined processes to ensure that Hong Kong remains a leading financial center in a rapidly evolving global landscape. South China Morning Post highlights the resurgence of the Song Dynasty tea ceremony, which is being revived by a new generation eager to embrace its rich history. The fascination with matcha, a powdered green tea that originated from this era, has sparked a global shortage as social media influences its popularity. The article delves into the meticulous process of preparing matcha, from shading tea bushes to enhance chlorophyll production to the delicate whisking technique known as diancha. Janice Xu, a tea specialist in Hong Kong, is at the forefront of this revival, teaching students the art of diancha and shibaixi, drawing on tea foam, while reflecting on how the Song dynasty elevated tea drinking to an artistic endeavor. Despite modern society's fast pace, there is a growing appreciation for the patience and skill required in these traditional practices, as exemplified by the recent cultural spotlight brought by the drama A Dream of Splendor. In another heartwarming update from South China Morning Post, the blog Panda Watch provides a glimpse into the tender moments shared by Ying Ying, Hong Kong's panda mother, as she cares for her twin cubs for the first time. With the public eagerly awaiting their debut after the Lunar New Year, videos showcase Ying Ying's affectionate interactions with her cubs, demonstrating her nurturing nature. The caretakers have marked the cubs with safe food coloring to differentiate them, as Ying Ying initially focused on the stronger of the two. The article captures the joy of the twins experiencing their first Christmas at Ocean Park, complete with festive treats and celebrations, while also teasing their eventual introduction to the public, which is being meticulously planned with input from the mainland's breeding base. The South China Morning Post also reports on the anticipated surge in inbound travel to China during the upcoming Lunar New Year, fueled by an expanded visa-free entry list aimed at revitalizing the tourism sector. The article notes a staggering increase in travel bookings, particularly from South Korea, as the newly implemented visa-free policy has made it easier for international visitors to explore popular destinations like Shanghai and Chengdu. After years of strict pandemic-related travel restrictions, China's reopening has led to a dramatic rise in foreign tourists, with cities like Shanghai seeing visitor numbers double compared to the previous year. This renewed interest in travel is a significant step towards restoring China's tourism industry, highlighting the importance of international connections and cultural exchange in a post-COVID world. South China Morning Post: Hong Kong's stock market is experiencing a significant downturn, with the Hang Seng Index facing its largest weekly decline in nearly 2 months, down 1.6% for the week, despite a slight rise of 0.7% on Friday morning. Investors are becoming increasingly cautious, influenced by a deflationary trend in China and the uncertainty surrounding the incoming Trump administration in the U.S. The mainland markets also reflected this sentiment, with the CSI 300 index and Shanghai Composite Index both declining. Amidst this risk-averse environment, fixed-income products are seeing increased demand, and the yield on China's benchmark 10-year government bond has reached a historic high. While some companies like Orient Overseas International and BYD Electronic International saw gains, others, such as New Oriental Education and Technology, suffered losses, highlighting the volatility in Hong Kong and Chinese stocks as the new year begins. South China Morning Post: The outlook for Hong Kong's retail and hotel sectors during the upcoming Lunar New Year is grim, with many businesses bracing for a decline in sales. Recent retail figures revealed a 7.3% drop in sales in November, marking the 9th consecutive month of decline. The Hong Kong Retail Management Association reported that nearly 60% of surveyed companies expect poor performance during the holiday period, which runs from January 29 to February 2. Although the multi-entry visa scheme for Shenzhen residents has sparked some hope for increased business, concerns remain about residents' cautious spending habits and the trend of mainland tourists opting for shorter visits. Business leaders express the need for more local festive activities to attract tourists and boost spending, while some sectors, like supermarkets, anticipate increased sales as locals prepare for the holiday. South China Morning Post: The circuit at 10x Longevity in Hong Kong offers a unique wellness experience by combining hyperbaric oxygen therapy, HBOT, infrared saunas, and red light therapy into a 2.5-hour session aimed at enhancing recovery and reducing inflammation. Founded by Jill Van Vugt, who transitioned from a legal career to wellness, the center focuses on non-invasive treatments that promote cellular healing. The HBOT chamber, designed to increase oxygen levels in the blood, provides a surprisingly comfortable experience, while the contrast therapy of sauna and cold plunge cycles challenges the body in a rejuvenating way. The session concludes with red light therapy, known for its skin benefits. Participants report feeling refreshed and mentally grounded after the treatments, which are particularly effective for combating the effects of chronic stress and aging. This innovative approach to self-care encourages individuals to rethink their recovery routines, offering a promising alternative to traditional methods. South China Morning Post: In a bid to revitalize its struggling tourism sector, Hong Kong has made a significant change in leadership, appointing Rosanna Law Shuk Pui as the new tourism minister. The city, once a vibrant hub welcoming over 65 million tourists in 2018, has seen numbers plummet to less than 34 million in 2023, largely due to the political unrest of 2019 and the subsequent pandemic. To counter this decline, Law is urged to innovate beyond the limited success of mega events and forge partnerships with the private sector and other Asian cities. By positioning Hong Kong as a gateway to diverse Asian cultures, the city can attract international tourists while improving accessibility to its attractions, thus enhancing its appeal against stiff competition from neighboring destinations. Guardian, the plight of Hong Kong's residents living in shoebox housing or coffin homes has drawn attention as the government attempts to address the severe housing crisis. Social worker Lai Shanzi visits these cramped living spaces, where individuals live in units barely larger than single beds. Recent reforms aim to improve conditions by setting minimum standards for subdivided units, yet critics argue these measures are insufficient, failing to address the most dire situations. The government acknowledges the need for more public housing units, yet many residents remain skeptical about the effectiveness of these reforms, fearing rising rents and insufficient action against the worst offenders in the housing market. South China Morning Post, Lorenzo Musetti, the rising Italian tennis star, has expressed that while Novak Djokovic remains a formidable competitor, Jannik Sinner has emerged as a leading force in the sport. Musetti, who had a breakthrough year in 2024, reaching multiple finals and achieving Olympic bronze, emphasizes that Djokovic's experience still makes him a threat in Grand Slam tournaments. Sinner, despite facing doping allegations, has claimed his first major titles, showcasing the intense competition among the next generation of players. As Musetti prepares for the Hong Kong Open, he reflects on his aspirations and the unfinished business he has in the tournament, aiming to build on his previous successes and solidify his position among the elite in tennis. South China Morning Post reports that Hong Kong's MTR Corporation is in the process of urgently reinventing its business model to meet a colossal financial commitment of 165 billion Hong Kong dollars, approximately 21.2 billion US dollars, aimed at enhancing and expanding rail services amid a struggling property market. The company is reassessing its traditional Rail Plus property strategy, which previously relied on property development to fund rail construction. With the government, its largest shareholder, facing financial difficulties and the property market in decline, MTR Corp is exploring new revenue sources such as selling minority stakes in commercial properties and implementing cost-cutting measures through automation. The challenges are compounded by a complicated financial landscape influenced by fluctuating interest rates and project risks, leading to a more intricate calculation of funding requirements. In another article, the South China Morning Post highlights the tough realities of Hong Kong's property market as a developer. Hip Shing Hong Holdings has resorted to cutting prices on residential units in Shao Kei Wan by over 30% due to oversupply and a 3-year slump in the market. The developer has relaunched 50 units at its Oria project, with prices reflecting a significant drop from 2 years ago, indicating a lack of pricing power among developers. Home prices have fallen sharply, with a 27% decrease since their peak in September 2021, and while analysts predict a potential stabilization in the market, the recovery may take at least 6 months. Factors such as improving rental yields and a projected increase in property transactions could contribute to a gradual rebound. Lastly, the South China Morning Post introduces readers to the colorful world of Cantonese slang as the Year of the Snake approaches. The article explores 6 snake-themed phrases that reflect the unique cultural nuances of Hong Kong's colloquial language. For instance, Seh Gui describes cowardice, while Seh Wong refers to laziness. Other phrases, like Seh Do, denote a cozy escape from work, and what Seh relates to the historical context of illegal immigration. The use of Fong Seh in law enforcement context highlights the slang's versatility, while De Seh Bing creatively describes the winding queues ubiquitous in the city. These expressions not only enrich the local dialect but also offer insights into the social dynamics and cultural heritage of Hong Kong. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.